Everyone, we are all anxiously waiting around for the Lakers to pull off a trade, and one of those trades is the Buddy Hield and Myles Turner. It's a trade that has been rumored for months now, and many of us, that is the preferred trade, right? You get a big that can play both forward and center, if need be, leader in block shots in the league. You get a sniper in Buddy Hield that can knock down threes, although doesn't really offer much outside of that, but the Lakers desperately need a go-to shooter, and Buddy Hield would definitely fill in that role, and these two would just give us that added depth. It allows Anthony Davis not to have to play center, maybe certain matchups, maybe in a game 7, something like that, you have Davis start at center, something along those lines, but for the most part, game in and game out, you could have Myles Turner and Anthony Davis kind of play the 4 and 5 spot, so it would be a great trade. But so far, nothing has happened, and there's a lot of concerns with the Utah Jazz deal because that is based on the Knicks getting a deal done for Donovan Mitchell, and the Lakers would be the third team involved in that and get back a bunch of wing players. Now, that deal could still get done, but it's gotten a little more complicated because RJ Barrett's extension. So many of us are like, go do the Pacers deal. Like, come on, let's get it done. Let's make it happen. Well, we got a huge update in regards to the Pacers deal today, and it's not good for the Lakers. So Indiana, of course, is trying to fleece the Lakers in a Turner Hield deal, and it's just not worth it. Not only did they want both first-round picks, but on top of that, they also wanted THT, who now is gone, and on top of that, they wanted the Lakers to take Daniel Theis, who has several years on his contract and is just not a player that would work well with the Lakers if you go get a Myles Turner, because you would have like 5 or 6 bigs at that point. So you have a lot of guys that are going to have DMPs and just guys that aren't even going to be part of the team, really. Maybe you can move Theis in another deal, but he's got several years on his contract. Although his third year is a team option, you'd still be locked into his money for the next 2 years. And for a team that wants to maintain salary relief, that's not very good. Myles Turner, he's a guy that wants over $20 million a year, and he's had injury concerns as of late. Do the Lakers commit to him long-term and give him like a $25 million a year deal? I don't think either of these guys are worth both first-round picks. And I know some people look at it as like, well, it's a first for Westbrook, and then it's a first for Myles Turner and Buddy Hield. We're helping the Pacers also by them taking on Westbrook. Not just that, but they're losing Myles Turner for nothing. And there's not a bunch of people knocking on the door. Same thing with Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield, like, who's knocking on the door to try to acquire Buddy Hield? The only team that wants these two guys is the Lakers. And the reason the Pacers want Westbrook is to move off of Buddy Hield's contract. Obviously, they want to move off of Daniel Theis's contract, so that way they completely clear their books entirely. But for the Lakers' standpoint, not only are we giving up all of our tradable assets, but we're also taking back a lot of salary that just completely damages our, next season, the season after that. And you're basically stuck with this team for the next several years, and now you're back to minimum deals all over again. Is that a position the Lakers want to be in? That's a tough spot for the Lakers to be in. And not just that, but again, THT, he was traded to the Jazz, so now what happens there? Do we have to give up second-round picks? We got Patrick Beverley, which is huge. And look, if we could end up with Patrick Beverley, Buddy Hield, and Myles Turner, that's great. But the fact that they wanted THT in that deal also to have us take Daniel Theis, it's a lot. That is a high asking price. I mean, that's like what Kyrie was being asked for, essentially. Take on Joe Harris. We want both first-round picks. Buddy Hield and Myles Turner are not the equivalent of Kyrie Irving. I mean, the Kyrie Irving deal that was originally reported was better than what Indiana wants. So Indiana's going to have to come down. And I do think personally they will at some point. But this makes a lot of sense of why this deal hasn't been done, right? We've talked about, like, come on, let's get this deal done. Like, what is happening? What is going on? And for the longest, I just thought, they're just biding their time. They're waiting to see what develops. The Pacers deal isn't going anywhere. And that's still true. Pacers aren't going anywhere. No team is paying that asking price that the Pacers want for them. Not even the Lakers. And, I mean, the Lakers could, but, wait on the Jazz deal. Because if we could end up with, like, Beasley, Bogdanovich, and Cam Reddish, That's a pretty good spot because we just got all of our wing players in one swoop. And we got guys that are young enough to be on this team for the next several years, not just this year. Bohan is still, he's older. He's 33 off the top of my head. So, yeah, but maybe you can get him on a new deal, sign him on a reasonable contract next season, stuff like that, because he is an expiring deal. So is Patrick Beverley. There's already reports that the Lakers want to re-sign Patrick Beverley next season on a smaller, more reasonable deal. Patrick Beverley, again, is a guy that's getting older, and we'll see how he, actually works out for the Lakers. But look, even though THT is out of the picture, the Lakers could still do the deal. So the Lakers could still take Daniel Theis as well as Buddy Hield and Myles Turner and trade Westbrook and the 2 first-round picks, and the money still works. So the Lakers could still do the deal without THT, but if you're the Lakers, do you really want to take Daniel Theis's long-term money? You're talking 3 years. Again, you have Damian Jones, Thomas Bryant, Anthony Davis is going to play center at spots, and you'd have Myles Turner. So right there are your 4 guys. Daniel Theis he's going to be the odd man out. He's going to be sitting on the bench. His money, how do you move off of it? No team's going to want to just take him out of the kindness of their heart. Like, no team's taking that deal. Maybe you can include a couple seconds, but now you're giving up even more draft capital. It doesn't make sense for the Lakers to just take on a contract just to take on a contract, when you could just wait, try to get the Jazz deal done. Because even if you can't do the Knicks deal, the Jazz are probably going to trade Donovan Mitchell elsewhere then. Because like the Wizards, there's a report today that the Wizards are making a move. And I might even dive into that and how that could pertain to the Lakers in a 3-team deal a little later. But the Wizards have put together a package that they believe is enough to go get Donovan Mitchell. So we could squeeze in that 3-team deal and end up getting, the guys we need. Beasley, Bogdanovich, maybe we get like a Jordan Clarkson or something like that. So if this is the asking price that the Pacers want, the Lakers are better off just going elsewhere. That or remove Daniel Theis. Because at the end of the day, the Lakers are still helping the Pacers. Or if you could keep one of your firsts, then maybe I'd take Theis. Because now, worst case scenario, if you absolutely have to, like let's say next season Kyrie Irving wants to come to the Lakers, well, now you have that other first. You were going to give up both firsts to go get Kyrie anyway. So now you have that other first that you could package with Theis. And now a team, I think, would take that on because you're getting a free first-round pick to take on his salary. Teams would do that. Like a team like the Spurs, they would do that. They would take that first. Maybe if you could keep one of the first, maybe you could even then this year maybe trade Theis for like, a mid-tier guy. You're not going to get anything of like major value, but maybe you could get a guy that would be more of a rotational guy, because you're adding a first to that. So, maybe even throw in a second and get like a mid-tier guy. Because his salary is enough to go get a solid, like, contributing player. That could be something that would work. But I think it either comes down to you either want both first and we're not taking Theis, or we only give you one first and, we'll take on Theis, because now the Lakers, like I said, they have the assets to go get that. I just don't think Buddy Hield and Myles Turner are worth both first. I love the deal. That's my favorite deal out of all of them. But I don't think either of them are that big of a needle mover. I think that, Myles Turner, he's great, but there's a lot of questions with Myles Turner. Health-wise, the last few years, you have that problem, the amount of money he wants. If you trade both first, you're essentially locking yourself into Myles Turner and Buddy Hield, and you're going to extend him to whatever money he wants because you're not going to run the risk of him walking and leaving. So unless the Pacers are willing to bring down the deal, which I do think sooner or later they will. I mean, this is just part of the negotiations, right? You ask for the moon and you hope to land in the stars, right? That's the goal. And, and we'll see this kind of get whittled down. But this makes sense why the deal hasn't happened. And ultimately, I do think Buddy Hield and Myles Turner, I do think the Lakers probably prefer that. I just think they're looking at it as like, we could probably do this Jazz deal, get back several players, keep the financial flexibility, and probably keep one of the first because they're just the add-in on the deal. And so you give up maybe like the 27 unprotected pick. Jazz love that. They're willing to trade, Bohan. They're willing to trade, maybe Beasley. And then Cam Reddish, the Knicks just have wanted to unload Cam Reddish for quite some time. Even if you do have to trade both picks, like I said, at least you get guys that are financially flexible for the future. Not just that, but if I'm not mistaken, I think Beasley has a team option. So they could actually just keep Beasley at the price that he's at, or sign him to a long-term deal, or extend it. Like, it gives them flexibility. The deals that the Jazz and the Knicks that they would get, I just think, like, at this point, if this is what the Pacers are asking for, move off of it, wait for the Jazz and Knicks to come to an agreement, and then jump into that deal. And then if the Knicks can't get the deal done, and let's say it's the Wizards, then jump in that deal and get three players from the Jazz. Go get Beasley, Bojan Bogdanovic, and then, whoever else, Jordan Clarkson, Mike Conley. I wouldn't mind Mike Conley if he's like our backup at that point, something like that. Or I guess you could have him and Patrick Beverley kind of in your backcourt, and then you have LeBron. But, I don't know how well that would work. Jordan Clarkson, I know a lot of people really want Jordan Clarkson, but the problem is you have guys like Kendrick Nunn and stuff like that. You have your scorers, and Jordan Clarkson, go look up his numbers. He's not the most efficient guy. He's just on a team where he just gets to chunk up shots. Like, that is his only job. It's just shoot. Every time he touches the ball, shoot it. He has his hot moments. He has his moments for sure. But he's not the most efficient scorer for a sixth man. And that's why the Jazz are so eager to get rid of him. But yeah, it's just a weird spot to be in if you're the Lakers. I wouldn't do this deal if this is what it is. Unless you could keep one of the first. If you can keep, say, one of the firsts, then yeah, maybe I'd take on Theis, because now you have options there. And because the thing is, even if Anthony Davis, let's say Anthony Davis goes down, because Anthony Davis, that's people's concern. Anthony Davis is going to go down. You still have Myles Turner, Damian Jones, and Thomas Bryant, right? And then let's say two of the guys go down. You still have your bigs, and you have other guys that kind of fill in a spot. I mean, it's just, I don't know. You're going to have a lot of guys that are just sitting on the end of the bench, not contributing, and you got a full roster. I don't know. And then, like I said, you lose the financial flexibility for the future. At least Buddy Hield is an expiring contract, so it's like, okay, like, you could always move him next season. I mean, he's not an expiring contract this season, but next season he is. And so next season, if you needed to, you could move him. A team would probably be more willing to take him on because they only have to write him out for the year. But it's just, I don't know. As always, I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think? Do you think, like, yeah, if you're the Lakers and this is the asking price, it's way too high? Do you think that, no, like, if you're the Lakers, you got to do the deal. You got to get the deal done. Like I said, even without THT, the deal can still get done. But what do the Jazz want now instead of THT? Like, do the Jazz want, a pick swap? Not really high on, like, the pick swaps. I don't really care. Like, okay, do the pick swap, whatever. Because they're probably not going to cash that anyway, because you're going to be better than they are. So that's not a big deal. Maybe a second. But I don't know. It just depends on what they want. But however you feel about it, I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. That being said, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.